Hello art lovers and magical folk, it's Fairy Sarah here. Welcome. This is my first video in the new art studio. It's still a crazy mess of unpacking, and so I'll leave a studio tour for another day. I just wanted to jump in here and offer a free little class for Equinox Talisman making, because I was meant to run an in-person workshop this equinox, but due to everyone staying home, I thought, well, why don't we all stay home and make one together? So I'm offering this little workshop for free. It is my gift to you. It is a prayer for you for peace amongst the chaos that is. So stay tuned as I take you through the process of making your own Equinox talisman. This is one I'm going to show you how to make today. It's got a little clasp, and inside is some herbs and crystals. Let's start by getting comfortable in our chair. Take a couple of calming breaths. See if you can get your breath down into your belly. Place your feet flat on the ground. And from this place, send roots down through the soles of your feet, through the floor of the building, the foundations, the soil, into the dark, nourishing Mother Earth. Connect in here with her, feel how she holds you, how she supports you, she loves you. Send her love and gratitude. And as these roots mingle in this deep, dark earth of the Mother, perhaps they mingle with the other trees and plants, with the bone and rock, with the mycelial network, with the water table, and to the very heart, the star at the center of the earth. And you can take some of this energy up, let it nourish your roots, draw it up to your feet, up through your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your buttocks, the cauldron of your hips, your belly, your spine, the cauldron of your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck, and the cauldron of your skull. Feel yourself filled with earth starlight, nourishing energy from the center of the Mother. And let it pull at the heart, the center of yourself. Perhaps this feels like your solar plexus, or maybe it's your heart. Wherever you feel your center is today, let it pull here. Breathe into this space. Feel connected, and then open your awareness to the top of your head, to your crown chakra, the very top of the skull, and imagine that it opens like a lotus, like a flower blossoming, or perhaps branches grow from this space and they reach up through the room, through the roof, into the sky, through the clouds and the atmosphere, into the heavens, stars above, the great stars of galaxies. You in your chair are here in this room, but your heavenly starlight is reaching the branches and it pours down through you, through those petals, through that crown chakra. It washes down through your head, over you, through your neck and shoulders, down your arms, down your spine, down through your legs to your feet. And feel yourself here in the middle of that great above and the great below, and here you are within, centered in the middle of all of this. Breathe into this. And feel this heaven starlight mingle and pool at the center of you with the earth light. Feel them at the very center of you. And connect into your heart space and these central lights and feel them pouring down through your arms, through your hands. And we'll just pop our hands together and briskly rub, spark some life. And know that every creation you make today, every stitch, is filled with this light, filled with the heart space, filled with the center, the magic of the great above and below, as within, so without, filling our work today. We're going to light a candle in honor of the great creator, in honor of Equinox, in honor of the work we do today. And perhaps you have an intention for this work, for this Equinox Talisman. What is it that you want to tuck inside and hang within your home or keep on your person? Is there a prayer? Is there a wish? Today I seek peace and balance. And so I light this candle in honor of the great creator, in honor of all of you, that this workshop may be of service, and that may we all have peace and balance. Pop your candle into a holder and pop it on your creative space, somewhere out of the way, but somewhere close by, to be with us while we create. Kantha is an embroidery craft from India. Old cloth and saris are used. I love the recycled nature of Kantha and the handmade nature of the stitch. This blanket feels so alive. It's full of memory and human touch. This is a textiles piece that I felted and then hand stitched into a slow, tactile, therapeutic crafting activity inspired by the Kantha embroidery. There is something very relaxing about stitching very slowly in one direction for no particular reason. Measure a rectangle of 5 centimeters by 7 centimeters. And then use this as a stencil to cut your second piece of fabric. I use scraps of fabrics and create a pattern. Something appealing visually to you. Can be very intuitive. If you don't need to know what's going on at this stage, just go with the flow. What you're wanting is a double layer of fabric scraps pinned together. We're then going to take a length of embroidery thread. I like to use the measurement of the heart space and an extended arm. This seems to be a nice length connected to the heart that also doesn't tangle. We then take this thread, which is usually 6 skeins of cotton, and split it in half, so you're just working with 3 skeins. If you don't have embroidery cotton, just use sewing thread, doubled, and a sewing needle. In this case, I'm working with an embroidery needle. You just want something sharp. We're then going to knot our thread. When you knot, do it with intention. This is witchcrafting, and knots are filled with magic. What is the intention for this piece? Knot it into your work. We then start from the back of our work stitching, and we're just doing a very gentle, casual stitch from the bottom, working to the top lengthways. Of course, there are no rules, so you do you, and if you would like to go widthways or top down, go for it. Finish your first row at the back so you can start a fresh row again from the back to the front. It just creates the lines really clean up and down, the lines of stitch. But again, there are no rules. This is an activity of peace. So just go with the flow. Let it be a stitchy wonderland. Make sure you become aware of your breath every now and again. Are you breathing? Exhale into your belly. Remember your intention. Perhaps your intention can become a mantra with your breath and with these stitches. Keep them slow. Sometimes here as I was working, I was trying to shove too many stitches onto that needle when really I learnt eventually what I needed to do was just very slow, one stitch at a time. Connect to the breath. There's no need to rush. And I found that the times when I was rushing, my mind was also racing, worrying about, is this going to be okay for these guys? I'm sure you guys think this is just fine. And so I ask you, connect with your breath as you connect with the stitch. This is the magic. This is where it all happens. This is how you fill this work with beauty and presence and beautiful energy. Notice when your thread gets tangled. Are these tangled thoughts? Are these stresses of life? How do you respond to them? Can you respond with breath and kindness and an ah well kind of attitude? And just carry on stitching. When you run out of thread, simply re-knot with that magical intention again. Knot that into your fibre and begin again. Continue. I've decided to leave some threads hanging. For some strange intuitive reason, they end up becoming a bothersome hassle and get tangled all the time, but I realised it was a wonderful test in how can I respond to things that are annoying and tanglesome, because life seems to be full of them at the minute. Can I respond with laughter or a peacefulness or who really cares attitude? Or am I getting frustrated and impatient and adding to the tangles? This was the beautiful lesson of this stitching this day. What magic is your stitching whispering to you, asking for you to listen to? Up and down. Down. It is like breath. This stitching is breath. Ah, knots. Like the tangled mind. I laughed so much about how knotty and tangled this piece became, and every single time I breathed and just had to go with the flow. Knot your work with that intention, and then snip the ends. I decided that I didn't want to work with the blue. I'm going to work with black, and due to time constraints, here's one I prepared earlier. Oh, magic. Now figure out which one is up and which is down, which is back to front, which is facing, and you want to pop their insides together. So the outsides are facing out, and you want to figure out what's going to be the top of the piece and what is the bottom. I'm just trimming one of mine to size. I've noticed it's a little bit off. Popping my scraps into my little scrap jar for later use, usually within a spirit doll or some other sweet place. I'm going to start at the top left-hand corner of the opening and work our way around with a buttonhole stitch. So you're working anti-clockwise around your piece of stitchery. It's the way we cast the circle in the southern hemisphere anyway. If you are unfamiliar with the buttonhole stitch, I will leave you a wee reference below in the notes, drop down note part. So we go round and round. Look, you don't have to use buttonhole. All you want is a beautiful stitch that you enjoy that will close these two pieces of fabric together. I love buttonhole. There's something about it. It is my most favorite embroidery stitch. I've loved it for years, and so that's my go-to for everything. When you finish, remember those magical knots. Fill them with your intention, fill them with your wishes. Time to now ponder how you would like to close these talisman bags. Here's some examples I prepared earlier. We've got buttons, a bone, for this one, I'm just going to fold the top over 1 centimeter. And then we're going to think about what's going to go inside. Here's some beautiful patchouli. I wish that you could smell how beautiful and earthy and delicious this is. I've chosen patchouli because it is one of my herb friends. It's been with me since the start of my witchcrafting 25 years ago. Can you believe it's been that long? And so it reminds me who I am. It reminds me of my sovereignty, and it's really grounding and really earthy. You choose a herb that suits you and your intention. You can also place crystals within these pouches. You can adorn them with crystals and charms, and what do you want to place inside? I've decided I'm going to also write down my intention for this piece. You could draw sigils, you could look with anything and everything. It's a little tiny talisman pouch. What do you want to put in there? I've chosen a little stick with some moss from the garden to use as my closure. Mark out on your talisman where this closure will be. It can be anywhere. I'm using another piece of embroidery cotton. I'm using the whole 6 threads this time. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you. You just want some nice strong thread that will knot at one end, knot on the other side of the bag, and then thread. You're going to stitch it in. You want it to be secure and to hold your clasp, button, toggle, whatever you choose in place. So I'm just doing a tacking stitch. It's like the running stitch that we've been doing, nothing fancy. And I am stitching this about 3 times. Remember with the knot that you use to fill it with your intention. And remember to breathe. In fact, maybe we need 3 deep breaths. So calming. It's now time to decide where the thread that's going to anchor this all together will sit. Place a knot in one end of the thread and then thread it in place on one half of the bag. Don't sew your bag shut. Done that before. I decide to stitch along the top of my talisman just to anchor that piece of cotton in place. It's really up to you. I then wrap it around the toggle and snip it at the length that I desire. Spend a moment and decide whether you would like to add any charms to your talisman. Beads, bells. I decide on 2 bells. I just tack them on by knotting the bell and then sewing it into the bottom corner. I do this on both sides. Remember to fill your knots with your intention and remember to breathe. I hope that when I hear those bells jingle, I'll remember my intentions of peace and grounding. We are then going to get a length of thread to become the handle for your talisman pouch. I just pin it in place and use a tacking stitch with that magical knot again. And stitch this handle thread in place. I've just used a kitchen twine. You could use anything. Jute, ribbon, anything. I just tacking stitch, kind of wrapping it in place, and then in a couple of parts I also stitch right into the center of the twine, really holding it in place. You can trim your excess threads if you want. I've left mine all hanging and tangly for now. Then repeat on the other side with the other end of your thread, like so. And then voila, you have a talisman pouch. To bless and charge, I pass my talisman through a sacred smoke, an incense blend made for this purpose. I then add flame to the talisman pouch from our spirit candle. I then anoint the pouch with some passion water used in many art witch activities. And then remind it of its connection to earth. We've got its herbs filled inside, and it is a creature of the earth, a creature of cotton. We then repeat the chant, a wildwood chant that I like to use, that you can use too, which is: I bless, I cleanse, I consecrate, I purify, I charge. I bless, I cleanse, I consecrate, I purify, I charge. I bless, I cleanse, I consecrate, I purify, I charge. I bless, I cleanse, I consecrate, I purify, I charge. Thank you for being a part of the workshop today, beloveds. I hope you have enjoyed making your own talisman with me. If you've enjoyed this, please do head along to the website. The link is below in the comments section, in the descriptor section, sorry. And you can sign up to my Dark Moon Art newsletter, which comes out this Monday. And it will have some future information about upcoming online workshops and other such magical musings. It comes out, that newsletter comes out once a month. You'll also find my online shop on there if you feel like jumping on and checking out what prints and magical things I've got available. You can also email me and say hi, or respond in the comments about your working that you did with these talismans. Let me know how you went, and if you've got any questions, and I'll pop some links for different resources in there too. Okay, beloveds, look after yourself, go well, be peaceful.